Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a weekly podcast focusing on e-commerce topics featuring interviews with prominent people in the e-commerce space.
This is E-Commerce Conversations by Practical E-Commerce. I'm Kerry Murdoch. Financial management is critical to e-commerce companies, but the tools to manage financial matters vary, and many of them don't automatically integrate with a merchant's e-commerce site, making the financial tracking and reporting process even more burdensome. To help us understand financial management for e-commerce businesses, we are joined by Jim McGeever, the Chief Operating Officer with NetSuite, the hosted all-in-one e-commerce platform. Well, Jim, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. Welcome to join.
Jim, our topic today, of course, is financial management for smaller e-commerce businesses. And for many of our listeners, smaller merchants, the thought of doing accounting work, I suspect, is not particularly pleasant for them. Can you tell us how a robust financial or accounting package can actually save a business money or help a business out?
Well, for one thing, no one really likes to do accounting. So one of the things that we've done with our system is set it up in such a way that you shouldn't really feel like you're doing accounting. You should feel that you're running your business, and then the accounting is essentially just the recording of how your business is performing. So what I mean by that is the way we've set our system up is that you will just take orders on your website, you will pay your vendors, you will ship your products, and every time you do one of those transactions, it's going to record it in your financials. Now, the reasons why that's very important to do this in a real-time basis is you need to know how much money is coming in and out of your business. I mean, that's the lifeline of a small business, is the cash flow. And if you don't monitor that closely, then you can get yourselves into a lot of trouble real quickly. So I don't really think about it as much as you're doing the accounting, but you're really just understanding how your business is performing. Now, there are some technical accounting steps, general ledgers, entries that sometimes have to be done. And the nice thing with a product such as NetSuite is, because it's all 100% web-based, you can have your accountant or a third party log on remotely and do that for you. So if you don't want to do any accounting at all in terms of how you may have traditionally thought of accounting, a system like NetSuite actually enables that.
Your accounting module, it's referred to or it's called NetSuite Financials. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. Okay.
Certainly that's a very robust offering, and I know your company has a long history and background on financials on financial management, which we'll talk about in a minute. But can you give us perhaps some little known features in a robust package like NetSuite Financials that can help merchants run their business? And in particular, I'm thinking perhaps payroll, maybe different payment options, that sort of thing.
Sure. So one of the things that we can do, especially again being an online system, we can do automatic payments without having to write checks. So through our system, when you want to pay a vendor, you can just do it all electronically. You don't have to print a check out and mail it. You can do online bill pay. You can do ACH transactions all directly through the system. Another example is we're completely integrated with all the major shipping firms such as FedEx, UPS, and USPS. And so all the shipping rates are automatically calculated for you and integrated with your system. Another cool accounting feature, which I think is really important, especially in the web store e-commerce business, is we'll show you the gross margin on every item you sell. So you know exactly how much you're making on each and every item. And that enables you, through running reports in our system, to really see very quickly and easily what is the most profitable parts of your business.
We know that sales taxes are looming on the landscape for an increasing important part of e-commerce. How does your package accommodate or deal with the collection and reporting of online sales taxes?
We've got a couple of different methods. One that I find really useful, especially now given the complexity of sales taxes, is we have an integration with a sales tax partner, which we actually use internally at NetSuite. It's called Avalara. So not only will they calculate all your sales taxes correctly, no matter what the state or municipality or city or local tax is, but they'll actually also do your tax filings for you as well. So you don't have to touch it. They'll calculate the numbers, and then they'll prepare the forms and send them in for you as well.
Tell us about mistakes that you see with your expertise in financial management. Jim, what mistakes, financial-related mistakes, do you see merchants, smaller e-commerce merchants, making from time to time?
Well, the biggest mistake I see is not looking at the financial data basically every day. I know a number of merchants who every single day will look at their sales and they'll look at how much they sold. But that's only one part of the equation. Most people, when they're selling products, are dealing with different margins and different profitability on those items. The biggest mistake I see is them not focusing their business on the most profitable items that they sell, or not correctly merchandising their most profitable items. And that can change over time. It's not as if that's usually a static thing. So you've got to look at what's going on and what's driving your business, and not just the sales number, but the profitability number on a constant basis. So every day, if you're running a sales report, what you should be running is a sales report with the costs as well, so that you can see actually the profitability that you're making, not just the gross number.
NetSuite's financial package module automatically integrates, as you've just referred, to the e-commerce package. It integrates with the customer relationship management package, the CRM package. And I'm wondering if we could perhaps use an example, a sample of a customer that, say, goes to an e-commerce site, a NetSuite e-commerce site, and purchases a product, say it's running shoes. And could you walk us through, once that transaction happens, how it hits financials, how it hits the CRM module, and any other seamless integration that NetSuite offers, just with that example?
Sure. So NetSuite is one system to manage your business. So there is only one customer list, there is only one item or SKU list, there's only one vendor list, one employee list. So all the modules that we have, e-commerce, accounting, CRM, all use the same data. So if someone comes to your website, places an order, it will automatically record the sale in your books. If this is something you have in your warehouse or in your store that you need to ship, it will also enable you to do a shipping fulfillment, calculate the sales taxes, calculate the shipping items, print the label, and then you'll be able to ship it out of your warehouse. When you do that shipping transaction, it will automatically record the cost for you of that transaction as well. So now you instantly see your profitability on that item. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things that happen as well, but for example, on the CRM side, it's going to record that transaction not only in the customer center, their account login on your website, but also internally in your instance of NetSuite. When you look at that customer record, you'll be able to see exactly what they bought and when. So, for example, if you sell not just on the website, but also maybe you've got a retail store as well, if someone walks in off the street and buys in your store and they also buy on the web, that's all going to be recorded in one place, so you'll know exactly who's using that transaction. It's also going to, on the shipping side, once you ship something, it's going to remove the item from your inventory. And again, if you have both a web store and a retail, and you're using that product that's in your retail shop or warehouse to ship, it's looking at the exact same inventory item. So if someone buys it at the web store, it's going to show it as no longer available to be purchased, either in the store or on the website again. Because with everything that works together, and looking all at the same data, you never have to worry about duplication of effort. You never have to worry about duplicate data entry. You never have to enter something twice to have it show up. So it's kind of hard to explain verbally. It's much easier if you can see a process flow where everything happens. But I think the golden rule is that you shouldn't have to do any data entry. All the cost, all the revenue, the sales tax, the shipping cost is all going to be taken care of for you.
Obviously, there's no exporting files, importing files in between modules. All this happens automatically.
Yeah, this all happens automatically and all in real time. If someone places an order on your website, even if you have you can actually have multiple websites. You can have one international website, maybe you have a website in pounds and a website in dollars. The second you enter that transaction, it's going to show up on your dashboard, which will give you an idea of exactly who's buying what and what your sales are and what your costs are for the day. And if you're using a third-party a 3PL provider, third-party logistics, it will actually, as soon as that order is placed, it can email that provider straight away telling them to ship that product.
Jim, our conversation here is on financial management and financial modules or financial packages generally. Mm-hmm. And your company, NetSuite, in particular, has a long history of expertise on this topic. I think it's fair we should bring that up because you started, the company started out with it was called NetLedger, I believe, and you were kind of exclusively an accounting package, if I stated that correctly. Could you give us a little history about NetSuite and why you come to this interview with lots of online financial expertise?
The company was started back in 1998 as NetLedger. It was an accounting package. The vision was always to create a suite of applications, but for the first couple of years of our life, all we did was focus on building financials. So that's really at the heart of our system. And the reason we started with financials, because financials are the things that tell you everything about your business. It tells you what you're selling, what your profitability is, what your cash flow is. And so that contains so much of the data, and then once we had the core of the data, it was fairly easy to add other modules on top of that. And in fact, it was actually Larry Ellison who was our primary founder, who's the chairman and CEO of Oracle. He was the person who said that we should start with accounting. And he was also the person who pushed us very early on to come out with the e-commerce capabilities and our web store capabilities. So he had a very healthy interest in pushing us in that direction in the early days of NetSuite.
Jim, many of our listeners, smaller e-commerce merchants, many of them, I suspect, use QuickBooks products, Intuit products. I know that Intuit's just come out with an online version of that software. Mm-hmm. Certainly, QuickBooks is a nice product, a nice offering. Could you contrast NetSuite Financials with QuickBooks for us?
Sure. So we do, most of our customers are customers who come from QuickBooks. So they've outgrown QuickBooks and they've run into some of the limitations of QuickBooks, and then they move on to NetSuite. NetSuite scale, we have customers with 1 or 2 employees all the way up to customers with tens of thousands of employees. So we are able to scale to both enormous volumes but as well as complexity of business processes. So the biggest difference is, so firstly, you do have this ability to scale. You do have the ability to customize the application, and with customization in the world of NetSuite, it's all point and click. No one's going in. You don't have to go in and code. So we give you an enormous amount of flexibility. If you've got a process that you may currently be tracking in a spreadsheet, you can now have it tracked automatically inside of NetSuite. We do have international support, so we can handle multiple currencies and multiple languages. We do have the ability to handle multiple subsidiaries. If you were selling in both, say, the US and Canada and had different subsidiaries there, NetSuite is be able to handle that. And then one of the other key advantages is with NetSuite being an online product, you can see this information and run your business from anywhere. You can be in the office, you can be at home, you can be on vacation, you could be anywhere in the world and run your business. All you need is an internet connection and a computer, and you'll be able to run your business as if you were sitting in the office.
Jim, we have just another minute or so left here. Anything else on your mind for our listeners, e-commerce merchants?
Sure. So one of the things I would say is most of the e-commerce merchants who come to NetSuite are e-commerce merchants who have begun to see some success in their website and now are dealing with the challenges of shipping and sales tax and dealing with their financials. And so, we're very used to dealing with companies who are scaling their e-commerce operations. And so as a result, because the NetSuite e-commerce customers tend to be the more successful ones, we've built a lot of best practices and have understood a lot of what it takes to actually scale an e-commerce site. We've worked with many, thousands of customers over the years about what they did to help scale their website. And so with NetSuite, we have a dedicated e-commerce team that deals with nothing but e-commerce customers, and we're able to bring some of those best practices to our new customers as well.
Well, for purposes of our listeners, we've been visiting with Jim McGeever. Jim is the Chief Operating Officer of NetSuite, NetSuite being the publicly traded company that offers a suite of online financial management tools and e-commerce module as well. That site is netsuite.com. And Jim McGeever, the Chief Operating Officer, we want to thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for this week's e-commerce conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next week for another new episode.